covering the community, events, and people of Georgia, Carolina. This is the Means Report. Here is Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Means Report. So happy to have you with us on this Sunday. We hope that your weekend is going well, and we hope that you are ready to be informed about a couple of important topics over the next 27 minutes or so, beginning with human trafficking. We're going to tackle that subject today. Some of you may be familiar with human trafficking. Others may think it is something that happens far away from here, perhaps in other countries only. Well, that's not true. It's happening in our own backyard, and we have an expert here on the set of the Means Report to tell you all about it. I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll be pretty disturbed as well. I know I was. Also ahead, financial awareness. What a great topic to kick off 2016. Some tough talk from Will Caywood and the team at the Fehrman Investment Group when it comes to budgets, getting yourself out of debt. It's great advice, though. And if you follow what Will says, you will have a more prosperous 2016. So stick around for that. And then a wonderful way to wrap up the Means Report. Worth 1,000 words. I'm going to let you wait for that story, but I promise you it'll send you off into your Sunday afternoon on a positive note. And that's the way we always try to wrap up the Means Report, with you feeling good. There's too much negativity in the world, isn't there? Like this subject, human trafficking. You will not believe some of the things that are going on, not only in the United States of America, but right here in the greater Augusta area. Here to talk about human trafficking is an expert on the subject. She is Dr. Denise Lenares-Solomon. She is a professor at Augusta State. Oh gosh, I knew this would happen. We did the logo launch.
Yeah.
Hold on, Denise, check this out. Augusta University.
Yes.
The place with the cool new logo.
Yes.
The Health Sciences campus is downtown. The Somerville campus is on the hill.
Yes.
I got it. And I appreciate what you do as an assistant professor at the college. I appreciate what you do helping to teach people about human trafficking, not just everyday people, but counselors, right? Tell us a little bit about who you focus on when you're teaching.
Okay. My main focus is on the K through 12 population, students and also administration, teachers, and school counselors. When you look at the topic of human trafficking, it's so broad. It's just a broad umbrella term. And it's something that is going on worldwide. However, underneath that umbrella are two areas. You have labor trafficking and you have sex trafficking. And I decided to focus more on sex trafficking and specifically the commercial sexual exploitation of children.
Let's take a look at some disturbing figures, folks, right now when it comes to human trafficking. There are an estimated 27 million slaves worldwide, and that's not a word you hear a lot anymore, slaves, but that's what these people are, isn't it, Doctor?
Yes.
Slaves.
It's referred to as modern-day slavery.
The average cost is $90 for a human being. Nearly 2 million children are involved in this sex trade. You heard Dr. Lenares-Solomon mention that that is among her areas of expertise, the exploitation of those young people. Half of them are under the age of 18 years old. So let me just ask you this, where do these victims come from? Are they just plucked out of our general population? Are they brought in from other countries? How do they get involved in this hideous trade?
That's a good question. A lot of people, when they think about human trafficking or sex trafficking, refer to what they see on the TV on a larger scale, what's going on over there in another country.
That's right.
War-torn countries. However, we're finding out that more and more it's happening locally, domestically, within the U.S. There are over 200 children a day who can be victimized by perpetrators of human trafficking. And from my experience, the way it works is this way. You have groomers. It's a whole system of trafficking. You have the groomers, you have the perpetrators, and then you have victims.
Are these people grooming and perpetrating the more vulnerable among us?
We would think that. However, books have been written by victims who were A students, who were involved in every sports in class, and they were not at the fringes of this of our society. They were great students. But what happens is that you have someone who comes along, and once they have identified someone who could become a victim, who could make them money, they start the grooming process. And this is where that person, the victim, will find themselves in the company of a young man or young lady that they think they're developing a romantic relationship with. And that may lead to other behaviors that, they may be drugged, and then they're victimized in certain ways, pictures taken, and then the coercion comes in.
It's almost like a mixture of half drugs, half brainwashing.
Yes,
over time.
exactly. Because I always say it starts off with the drugs, but over time the psychological handcuffs is what keeps the girls there. And these are students who go to school, go home, do homework, and may sneak out later at night because they have to fulfill this requirement, or else their perpetrators are going to post pictures of them. They're going to tell their family what they've been doing.
They're blackmailing them.
They're blackmailing them. That's why the definition when it comes to trafficking includes fraud, coercion, force. And coercion is the one that usually works on our K through 12 population, coercion.
Who are the customers? Is it simplest just to say sickos? Who
No.
buys these kids?
No, what happens is that they're buying kids, buying time, buying sexual favors from, and it can be, and it's funny that you ask that, because whenever I go out and conduct workshops, I always ask, who do you think are the ones who are using these services? It's always the bad man, the boogeyman,
Right.
that mean-looking white van, strange person.
That's
No.
right.
No, it can be anyone. We've had situations where classmates were victimizing their own classmates.
Oh my goodness.
So teachers using these students, and sometimes it would occur during school time, sometimes after school times, because it's a range of activity that includes, encompass sex trafficking, not just the prostitution angle. You have all different examples.
You could have gone into any specialty in the world of education. What led you to this?
Well, I'm originally from Belize, Central America, and I did a lot of work for them under gender-based violence. And gender-based violence is where a person is violated just based on their gender, male or female. And there's a lot that encompass that. So I worked on a lot of brochure books and pamphlets and educational material to train people who work with young people on, the dangers of gender-based violence. And underneath that is sex trafficking. And my attention was pulled to it because it was becoming more and more in the forefront of the news.
Right.
And I started to realize that students that I would work with never gave it a thought. They always thought that's something that happens, even in Belize, somewhere else,
Sure.
somewhere far away. And in order for us to combat this, we have to educate the young people so that when they are older or get older, they can begin to realize, wait a minute, I'm being pulled into a world that I don't want to, and there are ways out.
Tell me what you say to these K through 12 people, not only the kids, but their teachers as well. Don't trust anybody?
What I tell to them is to look out for certain signs. Don't trust anyone is maybe a good thing.
Yeah.
But I always say look for the signs. There are always signs that our students are being victimized or are leading down that road. For teachers and school counselors, two things: attendance and grades. I tell that to parents too, because in some of my workshops, parents would come, they would bring their daughters. And the parents would say, yes, if I notice my child's grade falling, there's something wrong, what's going on? And then get and become friends with their friends. Because we always know what's going on in the school or in a class. The kids always know what's happening.
What might a child see if a parent or grandparent is watching right now, someone who's too aggressively trying to get them to go out with them or be with them? Is that maybe a warning sign?
It's not even that. It's the charm. They charm them to go out with them. This is my boyfriend, he loves me. He knows everything about me. He cares for me. And that same boyfriend is the one who will use that trust in a wrong way, and would eventually convince, through coercion, fraud, convince the girlfriend to become involved. And you would think, who would want to sell themselves or participate in that? It's not a matter of wanting. It's a matter of feeling that there's no way out, because my boyfriend has pictures of me. I'm more scared of my church family seeing these pictures,
wow,
or these pictures being mailed to my parents, and that's what they're told. We're going to put this all over town. Everyone is going to see these pictures. You want to get these pictures back from me, then you need to do this.
It's almost a good idea to tell moms and dads, no matter, to tell their children, no matter how ashamed you may be of anything in your life, you bring it to me. We're safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember my last workshop with a group of K through 12 students. It was about, I'd say, 100 of them. And after the talk, it was so surprising. One young lady, she was about 8. She said, you know, my mom has told me about this stuff all the time.
Wow.
But I never really believed her. I thought it was something that happened far away. But you're saying some of the things my mom has said to me.
Dr. Lenares-Solomon, I-20, Interstate 20 is a bad place, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Those kids are coming up and down it right now.
They really are. And the thing is, I don't know if you remember a few years ago about the dark night operation that occurred.
I remember.
The multi-state. And that started off with a tip, a phone call, someone calling in, there's some maybe illegal contraband coming through Savannah Port. Well, it wasn't illegal contraband. It was human beings. And that's now we're getting into the world of other, them importing girls here specifically for that reason.
Let me ask you a few questions that I'll have to hit very quickly here. What can we, the general population, again, look for when it comes to a potential victim? If we're at a truck stop or if we're at a gas station, what might we see to say, you know what, that girl is not safe?
Well, usually you would see the girl being by themselves, looking very lethargic, drugged, not knowing where she is. Unfortunately, a lot of times these girls are well hidden and protected until they are asked for.
Right.
So with it at the truck stop, you may not see a whole lot of girls around, but within subdivisions, neighbors can look out for heavy traffic at a certain house that you don't know what's going on. You have to be vigilant, because in one case, the neighbors of a subdivision noticed heavy traffic at this house.
You think it's a drug house?
They thought it was a drug house, and unfortunately, it was sex trafficking of a young girl by her mother. So the community at large needs to understand that it is here. It's happening, unfortunately, in our communities, and unless we're vigilant, it will continue to happen and grow.
How can we get involved? How can we help you spread the word or get this message to others?
Well, there's 1-800 numbers. There's an organization, Polaris. They're very involved in human trafficking. That's all they do.
I want to put that information.
And they have a 1-800 number that I can provide.
Let us show you what we've prepared, and you tell me if these are still good. Marlena has gotten the website I'm Aware TV, which
I'm Aware is good.
That's our local group.
Yeah, I work with them.
Nationally, the cybertipline.com website is useful, and the 1-800 number there for human trafficking suspicion. You can call 800-843-5678, or if you need help, 800-843-5678. Does that jibe with what you have? And you can certainly...
I have one more number that
Go
I'd
ahead,
like
you can
to
say
leave.
it.
1-888-373-7888.
373-7888. And very quickly, as we close, are you pleased with where the state of Georgia stands on human trafficking, or is there more to be done?
There's more to be done, but I'm pleased. Georgia has ranked as one of the most aware through the governor's office, and actually under the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. There's an Georgia statewide human trafficking task force.
Okay, good.
So aside from the GBI, because they're also providing training to our law enforcement officers, there's also this separate entity that provide a lot of resources and information if you want to become involved.
Well, Dr. Denise Lenares-Solomon, I can't thank you enough for being here and for what you do, for answering the calling and making this what you're involved in education for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let's stop these people in their tracks, get these kids back home.
I agree.
Absolutely. When we come back, we're going to talk financial responsibility for the new year, your budget, your debt load. Will Caywood from the Fehrman Investment Group when the Means Report continues.